Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Shri Sadgurnath Maharaj Ki Jai. Okay, so we are going to be recapping our Sanskrit grammar that we have been seeing over the past few weeks, months. Today we're going to focus on nouns. When we did our Sanskrit house, we saw the walls of the Sanskrit house. We saw nouns and pronouns. We saw verbs. We saw indeclinables, and we saw sandhi also. So no, sandhi is not a wall though. Nouns, pronouns. Pronouns is well. Nouns, pronouns, verbs, indeclinables, right? Okay. I want you all to tell me about nouns. Anything you remember about nouns. You can unmute and tell me. Or you can type in the chat. Some people are like, what are you talking about? We did nouns? What is a noun? That is literally what some people's faces look like right now.
Nouns have three characteristics.
Okay.
Gender, number, and case.
Okay, very good. They have a declension table. They have three characteristics: gender, number, and case. What else?
That's all I remember.
Okay, then. Okay, what are the different genders of nouns? Okay, good. I'm seeing people answer. Masculine, feminine.
Masculine, feminine, and neuter.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
What does the gender of a noun tell you? Somebody tell me. What does the gender of a noun tell you? It tells you if that thing is a boy or a girl? What does the gender of a noun tell you?
It tells you whether it is a male or female.
Yeah, the gender will tell you if it's masculine, feminine, or neuter. But what does that tell you?
How to use the table, the declension table, the key.
Which one to use? Not how to use it, but which one to use. The gender of a word is important because it indicates to us which declension table we will be using to decline it. If it is a masculine word, we will use a masculine table. If it is a feminine word, we will use a feminine table. And if it is a neuter word, we will use a neuter table. Gender has absolutely nothing to do with the actual meaning of the word. You can have a word like child that is neuter. You can have a word like wife that is feminine, that is masculine. You can have a word like devata, which is feminine. And so the actual meaning of the word is completely independent from the grammatical gender that the word has. Very, very, very important to remember in Sanskrit. Okay? Okay. Then what else? Oh, yes.
Also, we don't have prepositions in Sanskrit. So, like, you need to know, like, if it's for, from, on, and like that. So that's why you need to know how to do your declension tables and also like so it tells you how to use the word in a sentence, kind of, because then it gives you the description of if when we do the different declensions.
Okay, great. So the case endings are something that is unique to Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, at least in the languages I know, the case ending will tell you what preposition in English to use when you're translating. It tells you the relationship between the words in the sentence. It tells you how the words are related to each other. It tells you how the It tells you how the nouns are related to each other, and it tells you how the nouns are related to the verb. Without knowing cases, Sanskrit makes absolutely no sense. Okay, who can tell me the benefit of words having cases instead of using prepositions like English? It's this whole new vision of language. Why go through all of it?
We'll write one less word.
You write one less word, yes. So it's much more environmentally friendly than, but that's not the main reason. The greatest benefit of case endings is that Sanskrit as a language, the sentences become like Lego blocks that you can move around very easily, but preserving the meaning. And so because of this feature of Sanskrit, you can jumble up words to put them in meter. And we are studying Sanskrit for the purpose of understanding our Shastra. Because the meaning of the word is built into the word, you can take the word and put it anywhere in the sentence, and it will always have the same meaning. And so we're able to have poetry in Sanskrit that is much more, that you can put into meter. It can fit a rhythm because it doesn't matter how you write the words, they mean the same thing. That is the greatest benefit that case endings bring, because they allow you to shuffle the meaning of the word, or the meaning of the sentence gets preserved even though the words are moved around. Okay, so we talked about case, we talked about gender. What about number? Oh, how many cases are there?
3.
Hey!
Eight keys. Eight. Sorry.
Eight
With
cases.
3 numbers. Yeah.
Good. 8 cases. We have 3 genders. We have 8 cases. And how many numbers?
3.
3. What are our numbers?
Singular, plural, dual.
Yeah, singular, dual, and plural. Unlike English, we have a dual category, which specifically talks about 2. And this is so important because, remember, Sanskrit is talking about the reality. And in this world, we live in a world of duality. And so because duality is so pervasive in this world, it necessarily has to be mirrored in the language that talks about it, right? So dual is a very distinct case that you will find in Sanskrit also. Okay, cool. So this is all about nouns. Now let us go to the actual declension. What determines, apart from gender, what other feature, characteristic determines which declension table to use? Question is clear? How do you know which declension table to use? Yes, go ahead, just answer.
So if a word ends with a, it's masculine, and if it ends in then it's neuter. Like
Okay. You're getting close. The ending sound of the word will tell you which declension table to use. Actually, the neuter words also end in a. It's just that the first case version has So every word will end in a certain sound. Every noun will end in a certain sound. It will end in a, it will end in a, it will end in it will end in e, it will end in u, it will end in tahalant sometimes. It will end in nahalant sometimes. It will end in any letter. Depending on the ending sound of the word, that will determine which declension table you will use. In this class, we have only done words ending in a. Huh? I can't believe I was going through my notes and I was like, we only did 2 declension tables in all this time? So, if a word ends in a and it is masculine, then you use the Rama declension table. If a word ends in a and it is neuter, you use the Vana declension table. But those are not the only 2 case endings. Those are the 2 first ones. We're supposed to learn them in like week 1. And after that, it's just table after table after table after table after table. Like if you want to decline Hanuman, you don't know how to decline Hanuman. So, okay. One more question about nouns. What is the word that is written on top of the declension table? What is the technical term when you write a word on top of the declension table? It starts with an S.
Substantive.
Substantive. The substantive word, right? Substantive form of the noun, substantive form of the word, you'll call it, right? Okay. Now, it is really important to know the substantive because the substantive is what you have to use when you're looking for which table to use. The example Hanuman is a really good one. The substantive form of the word Hanuman is Hanumat. Hanumat is the word. And Hanuman is first case singular. Hanuman is not the substantive. Hanuman is first case singular. This is important because when you're using the language, especially, for example, in puja class, right? When you're saying at the end of a mantra, you're saying Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha or whatever. Sometimes you're using a fourth case. Sometimes you're going to use a first case. Sometimes you have to use the substantive. That is why you always have to know what the substantive is, what the declension is, what the ending is, what the gender is. So many things to be known about a noun. Okay, so now lots of talks about nouns. Let us see if we actually remember the declension table. Who memorized and remembers the Rama declension table? You may have memorized it once upon a time, but memorizing is no guarantee of remembering. So who has memorized and still remembers the Rama declension table? Some are like, we were supposed to memorize that? Yes, one day homework was to memorize it. Okay, we'll refresh our minds. Please go to your table. If you don't remember it, don't try to be Superman and look in the sky. Just open your table and we're going to go through it together. Okay, ready? I will say, you will say along with me. As soon as we start to say it, it will come back. In case you haven't touched Sanskrit since the last grammar class, don't worry, it will come back. Okay, ready? Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha. Everybody should be saying it. Ramam, Ramo, Raman, Ramena, Ramabhyam, Ramehi, Ramaya, Ramabhyam, Ramebhyah, Ramat, Ramabhyam, Ramebhyah, Ramasya, Ramayoho, Ramana, Rame, Ramayoho, Rameshu. He Rama, He Ramo, he Ramaha. First case means subject. Second case means object. Third case is instrumental. With, by, due to. Fourth case is to or for. Fourth case is from or because of. Fifth case. Sixth case is of, possessive. Seventh case is in, on, at, locative. And eighth case is when you're talking to someone and you're calling someone's name, vocative. Vocative. And you don't have to say the hey part. When you see Bhagavad Gita, you won't see every time that Bhagavan Krishna talks to Arjuna, he says, hey Arjuna. The hey part is optional. The declension is the important one. Okay, so this is our Rama declension. Now let us go to Vana declension, neuter. The Vana declension table is very, very, very similar to the Rama declension table. The only differences will be line 1, line 2, and line 8. Line 1, line 2, and line 8 are so close to each other also. Okay, all right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Vanam, vane, vanani. Vanam, vane, vanani. Vanen, vanabhyam, vanaihi. Vanaya, vanabhyam, vanebhyah. Vanat, vanabhyam, vanebhyah. Vanasya, vanayoho, vananam. Vane, vanayoho, vaneshu. He vana, he vane, he vanani. Who did this sound like Greek to? Sounded like Greek to anybody? What are you talking about? I don't have any recollection of this. Were we in the same class? Okay, good. Most people are a little familiar with this. Good. I hope that everyone remembers how to take a word and how to decline it using the table. I hope you don't have to say the whole table anymore to get the answer of a word in the middle of the table. Like, for example, if I want to say with dharma, how do I say with dharma? You don't have to write the whole table and then see, okay, which one is third case, and then look in the third case box. You should be able to do that in your head instantly. I see some people saying it. With dharma is dharmena. Dhar is a ra. Remember the ra rule. Dharmena. Because ra comes, the na changes to a na. There's no blocking letter over there. So that rule has to not be forgotten. If you forget it, you'll just be like, oh yeah, I forgot. But you should know there's a rule and that's why it changes. Okay, cool. So that was nouns. Now tell me about, let's take a easy one. What about indeclinables? Tell me something about an indeclinable. There's nothing to tell about an indeclinable? That itself is enough. There's nothing to tell. What is there to tell? Indeclinables are the best. You just have to know the meaning and you just have to use it as it is. It's the copy paste of Sanskrit. It never changes. It's always the same. You don't need to know a declension. You don't need to know conjugation. You don't need to know anything. You just use it. You'll find all of our adverbs will be indeclinables. And you will see all the and, or, up, down kind of words are also indeclinables. So how to deal with indeclinables? We just have to get familiar with them to use them in the language. Okay? So indeclinable is very, very, very easy part of Sanskrit. Okay, cool. Indeclinable is done. Pronouns. What is a pronoun? First, let us recap English. What is a pronoun in English? That is the problem. What is a pronoun?
A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a person or a place or a thing.
Yes. A pronoun is a word that replaces a noun. It takes the place of a certain noun in a sentence. So you don't need to go on replacing the noun, saying the noun over and over. Gina went downstairs. Gina ate a fruit. Gina said hi. Gina, no, you just replace Gina with she and it means the same thing, right? So pronouns replace nouns in sentences. Now, in Sanskrit, when we use a pronoun, we replicate the exact same gender, case, and number when we replace it with whatever pronoun. So the pronoun has to match the noun in gender, case, and number. Gender, case, and number, that is how you know that that is the pronoun that is replacing the noun. So the pronoun will have its own form of declension. It will have its own form of being used, but whatever it is in its own category, you decline it like that, and then you replace the noun with it. When in this class, we only learned first case pronouns of I, you, he, she, it. We didn't learn the whole table. We only learned I, you, he, she, it. So we don't know how to say me. We don't know how to say my. We don't know how to say his. We don't know how to say theirs. We only know how to say I, you, he, she, it in singular, dual, plural, in all the genders. The I line will be aham, avam, vayam. Means I, we two, we all. Then you go to you. Tvam, yuvam, yuyam. Then you go to he. Saha, tau, te. When I say he, it means masculine. Sorry. Masculine doesn't mean, so when you're using a word like child, because child, one of the words of child is neuter, you won't replace child, neuter child, with saha. You will replace neuter child with the neuter version of the pronoun. So it is he or it. The saha taute is he or it. Then neuter, tam, tat, te, tani. And feminine, sa, te, taha. So this is our pronouns that we use. Pronouns will be very, very helpful when we recap verbs. Now I lost a few minutes in the beginning, so we might not have time to finish verbs. So let's just recap here. We did nouns, we did pronouns, we did indeclinables. The next thing that we have to see is verbs. Actually, let's see how quickly we can do verbs. Tell me something about verbs. How do you decline a verb? You don't decline a verb. Step number 1, verbs don't have declensions. Verbs have conjugation. Verbs have conjugation. So there's a conjugation table for a verb. It is not a declension table. Okay. What is the smallest part of the verb called? The smallest unit of a verb is called what? I'm seeing people say it. Yes, it is a verb root. The verb root is the smallest unit of the verb. You take the verb root and you do something to it, and it becomes the verb base. The verb base is what is used in the conjugation. So you take the verb base, and to the verb base, you add ami, avaha, amaha, si, taha, ta, di, taha, anti. Okay. Tell me what else about verbs. Verbs will have what characteristics? Like nouns have case, gender, number. What do verbs have?
Also numbers.
Verbs will also have numbers. Verbs will also have something that nouns don't have. Person. Verbs will have person. First case, me, I. Second case, you. And third case, he, she, it. And that is how you get your 9 forms of the verb. Okay, cool. So this is verbs. Now your homework is going to be, I'm going to send it in the chat also, in the WhatsApp. Your homework is going to be to write the declension table for dharma, the declension table for punya, and the conjugation table for bhu. So you check your verb section. Bhu becomes bhava. So you're going to write dharma, masculine, punya, neuter, and bhu, conjugation, which becomes bhava. Okay? And I will see everybody tomorrow.